closer to finding who's responsible for this than we were a month ago!
We are closer. It's only a matter of time.
Harry!
How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. Nice to meet you.
You too, man.
Thank you for joining me today to talk about the Pale Blue Eye, man. What an incredible thriller. You were just brilliant in this. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
And I have to admit, it took me about an hour till I realized that's the kid from Harry Potter. And you were just as far away from that character as you could be. And I mean, you were unrecognizable and you're just brilliant. I mean, just brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind.
Well, you know, 1830s murder mystery at West Point. It's almost like a 19th century CSI, a Holmes-Watson adventure. That haunting first image really sets the tone of the movie, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I think what Massa, the DOP, did, what he achieved with this film was extraordinary. The look of it is, I just when I saw it, I was just blown away. His use of color. It's a very small color palette, actually, which is interesting. It's very blues, whites, grays. But what he does with it and how it almost becomes a character in the film, those harsh landscapes, I think it's an extraordinary achievement.
Yeah, the projection of winters throughout the whole movie, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, I love the crude methods that were back in the 1830s, but deductive reasoning prevails, doesn't it? Intelligence never fades.
Absolutely. It's interesting to do a detective story where you don't have, you know, computers and science to help. It's more getting a confession from a person. And, of course, that allows for very intriguing dialogue scenes where you have to, you know, there's lots of things happening that you need to try and sort of unravel. You can't just rely on, I don't know, a DNA test. So that was a great thing to play with.
And becoming Edgar Allan Poe, was there a mindset as an actor? Because he was almost like a neurotic perfectionist is how you played him.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think that's very true. I think he is obsessive. What was quite exciting about this version of Poe was we had the opportunity to reinvent him, I think. I think people have a very fixed idea with who he is, and I had I was very fortunate to have a go at playing an earlier version of that. So you get room to maybe go, oh, is he more foolish than maybe people have previously perceived? Or is he funnier, maybe? Is he charming? Is he... all these different qualities that we wouldn't necessarily associate to the man. And that was a real joy to have a go at achieving.
Also, that little inside joke from the director, they cut to a raven at the beginning of the scene and they pan down. I thought that was pretty funny. So.
Yeah. There's scattered throughout the film little these touches, these little details.
And also the dialogue, it's almost poetic in nature when you speak it. There's this cadence to it.
Yeah, I think that's Scott's writing it. It's full of flourishes and beautiful beautiful musicality, I think, in what he says. And then I think the accent helped, certainly the dialect work. We landed on the Virginian accent quite quickly. And I think that really lent itself to, again, the musicality and certainly when he's performing his poetry, it allowed me to really lean into the performance side of it, for sure.
And going head to head with Christian Bale, any intimidation there? Because that's got to be some intense scenes with him.
I wouldn't say intimidation. No, I think when you work with a great actor, you're making it together. You know, you're trying to share something. You're trying to reveal a scene to the other person and to the audience. And so it felt extremely collaborative and very very generous. And I always say this, but when you work with people as great like Christian, they just elevate you. They lift you to their genius. And that was what every day going to work was. It was just being lifted and elevated into that space. So it was a joy.
And they don't get any greater than the great Robert Duvall. So, I mean, as brief as he was, I mean, did you come away learning anything from him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that day was extraordinary. We did it all in a day, and I had to step away from set and had to pinch myself to, you know, I'm working with Robert Duvall and Christian Bale, and it was myself, and I thought, wow, how lucky am I, you know? But yeah, that was a really special day for me, just in terms of working with two greats.
Well, Harry, congratulations. I appreciate your time today. What a fantastic film. And let's do it again soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.